Hey guys, welcome back to Project Time Garage. You know, I said before that I was done with this little Datsun truck, that I completed it to the point where I felt like there was really nothing else to do to it. I was wrong. I remembered that I don't have windshield wipers and I don't have little windshield wiper washer squirty things either. I remember this on the way to a car show at about 6:30 in the morning, really foggy outside, really hazy outside, and I found myself having to reach out and wipe the windows. Heck of a time to remember something like that. So that's what we're going to take care of today. Windshield wipers and windshield wiper washer squirty things. And I don't mean to get all technical with you on that terminology. So let's go ahead and get started. Well, that was easy. I literally accidentally made these things go. What was wrong was this shaft right here was stuck. I happened to have the windshield wipers turned on and I literally just grabbed this arm and it went pop. And now they work. That's pretty awesome. What about our wiper squirty thingies? No, I don't even hear anything out there. No, I hear nothing out there at all. Total silence. So this thing uses a kangaroo bag or a little water bag for its windshield wiper washer fluid. Not many of those around these days. All you young guys, have you ever seen that before? And the pump is down here in the bottom, right there. I can feel that. And there's the wiring for it. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my test lead and I'm just going to pop in here and I'm going to see if at least I have electricity getting here. That'll tell me something. I've got my test light just grounded over on the battery. Going into the bag, one of these wires is black and one of these wires is blue with a red stripe. I'm going to assume blue with a red stripe. It's going to be my hot. I just need to prop that up somewhere so I can see it from the cab. Or you guys can just tell me if it comes on. All right, key on. Okay. Well, that's interesting. It's either I'm getting nothing or I don't have a good connection. I don't know which. I would like to believe that all the wiring is good, but I could be wrong. Let's do it this way. I'll just stuff it in here and we'll see if that works. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So as soon as I turn the key on, I have power on this. Could it be that the switch interrupts, or the switch gives the pump ground? Could that be what it is? Potentially. So the way we test that is I'll go to the other side and I'm going to switch my test lead over to the positive battery cable. So this end of the cord is hooked to the positive battery cable and this end is hooked to the other wire. It could be that when I twist that switch, it just supplies ground. That's a lot safer way of doing it. Let's see. Twisty, yep, that's what it is. So twist the switch, get a ground, let off the switch, no ground. Okay, so if you're keeping score, the blue with the red wire, the blue with the red stripe wire is hot with the ignition key on. All the time hot as long as the key's on. The switch, or the little twisty part of the windshield wiper switch, sends a ground signal out to complete that circuit to make the pump run. Yay, we figured something out. So that means that our pump is not pumping or not running. So only thing we can do at this point, since we have the wires unhooked and the lines cut, Let's just pop the thing out of there. They're pretty simple to unhook. They just have hooks right back here. They just pop out like so. Pretty easy. Let's take this over to the workbench and see if we can get it apart. Well, this is our bag. Looks pretty rough actually. Look, this hose is already popped off of it. So the question is whether or not the pump is submerged in water or not, and whether or not this bag, if that pump is made into this bag or not. That's the real question. I think it's not, because if you look closely here, this says in and out. So that leads me to believe that the water is down to this level, comes out this tube into the pump and goes out of the pump into the thing. So probably where these wires are hanging out and this little split is probably our access. It looks like we have these little squeezy tabs here that we can probably break off and never ever be able to replace ever again, and replace with zip ties probably. I'll bet you this line has to come off. Ooh, I'll bet you that line is going to be crunchy. I wonder if we can heat it just a little bit. Being gentle now, fellas, being gentle. Oh, that made it supple again. Look at that. So yeah, there's your pump. Washer pump. Interesting. I'm going to go ahead and put the battery charger to it, and we'll just kind of see what happens with it. So we put 12 volts to it all the time, which is the way it was in the truck, and we bump it with ground, right? Nothing. All right. Well, I guess the next question is this motor serviceable? Can we pull it apart? I mean, I'm sure we can pull it apart. Can we put it back together is going to be the question. I don't know, but we're going to find out. Well, looks like there's just 3 screws between us and certain victory or certain death. And of course these screws are going to be really prone to trying to break because they're rusty and they've been submerged, or they've been in water or around water probably all of their lives. Rusty. Guess I need to remember how that. So both these pipes, they come up together side by side. That should be easy to remember. I mean, duh, makes sense. I just wonder if this motor is just trashed. Well, it's definitely full of goop. Look at that. There's the impeller. I wonder if we can just pull the impeller out of it. Affirmative. We can just pull the impeller out of it. Is the motor, yeah, the motor's frozen up, it feels like. And there's a little pin in there that the propeller, or the impeller rides on. Be sure to lose that. Now what? Do we just be so bold as to bend these tabs back and try to pull the end off the motor? Yes. Yes, we do, because let's face it, the motor doesn't work now, right? Not like we're going to make it any worse. Ouch. Okay. Is that all it takes to start pushing it apart, or is there more? I don't want to get too rambunctious with it because I don't want to break that nipple off there. If I can help from it anyway. I'm surprised there's not a pry point somewhere. Oh, it's okay. It's moving some. It's moving some. Oh yeah, yep. Things are happening. Things are happening. I don't know if they're good things or bad things, but they're things. Okay. That came off. Alright. Well, that spins. The motor actually spins. Oh, no, it doesn't either. So, these are the brushes, I guess. Yep, those are the brushes. We should be able to slide this out and get the brush, be able to get the brushes out of it, I would think. Let's see if we can or not. I don't want to break those little brushes either. Well, it's coming apart. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's coming apart. Also, we need to remember that the blue is on the left as we're doing this. All right, there's our brushes. And yeah, the motor is just pretty rough in there. I wonder if I can just pull it out. Maybe we can clean it up with some sandpaper or something. Yeah, there we go. Hey, that's not bad. There's that. We'll clean this up a little bit with some sandpaper and get some of that rust off of there. And hopefully none of the winding has been broken. Let's hope that. Well, I've gone around it and I've used black Scotch-Brite pads, and like this where the I don't even know what they call this, armature or whatever. I've just done that, kind of polished it up a little bit. I've gone around and polished the actual motor a little bit on this little stem here. Got him kind of polished up. On the inside, it's just been brake cleaner and kind of rolling up this Scotch-Brite and sticking it down in there and trying to make something of it. I'm getting just a little touch of grease and put down here because there's a bearing down there that this thing rides on. And they will try to return this back. I think it's going to spin just fine now. Let's see. There was this little black piece here. I guess that's probably just a shim or a seal or something. So it goes there. And then what? I need to put my brushes back on there, and honestly the brushes look fine to me. I don't see anything at all wrong with those. Let's see, blue went to the left. I guess we'll know whether or not they're any good if the motor starts or not, right? Matter, I guess, of getting them spread enough to be able to start this little plastic piece here. There, like that. There we go. Now, It's this piece. Guess I probably should clean that up some, huh? Brake cleaner. It's not just for brakes. In fact, it's seldom for brakes in my world. It's almost always for things like this. All right. That is pretty clean, I think. Cleaner than it was. So for this, I don't know if I should put anything on that or not. I don't think I should. Part of me thinks I probably shouldn't. Okay, so that actually sits in there. That makes sense. And this part just goes right back on here, yeah? That's what it looks like. Does it turn? Oh, it does not want to turn. I don't know why. Oh, it's really tight. Don't know why it's tight. It is. I wonder if we can power it up right here. Let's see what it does. We said that our hot was going to be there all the time, and that we could just kind of bump the ground, right? It's trying to move. Yeah, I can see it wiggling on the table. So what if I loosen it up just a touch? Is that the problem? Is it just too... Okay. Back into it we go. So this, I think our problem is going to be this bearing in the front of it, or this, whatever this thing is in the front. I think that's our issue. I think it is a problem. I think it's pushing down on the motor too much or something. Okay. Still think this right here is a problem. I wonder if this thing has just swollen up over time, maybe, or something, and has become a problem. Yeah, it's really tight in there. Really tight. In fact, I have to push it out. All right. Let's pull the guts back out of it again. And this back out of it. Oh yeah, that's definitely not any good right there. I think that's what's going on. Yeah, I think that's what's going on right there. Maybe if we polish this up some, it'll help. Oh, yes, yes indeed. That actually made a big difference. Let's do that again. Ah, much better. I'll put some grease on that too. All right, back in here we go. That's back together. Now, what about this? Oh, it spins easy now, but will it run? That's the question. This is positive. This is negative. Oh yeah. Sounds angry though, doesn't it? But hey, it runs. Look at that. Well, do I dare put it back together? No, I think I probably should clean this impeller up a little bit first. It's plastic and probably extremely brittle, and I don't know if you ever find one of these or not, so just going to be very careful. All right, I guess the next thing that needs to go back in it is this little retainer pin. Is in there. The impeller, I guess, sits on it like so. All right. Then there's this. I guess I better clean that up too. That's cleaned up. I started to put a little bit of grease in here of some sort, but I'm afraid to do it because I'm afraid it'll end up, since there's going to be washer fluid in here, I'm afraid that'll just end up all over my windshield. So I decided I wouldn't do that. Put these screws back in it and then see if the thing actually runs or not. That'll be the real test. Okay, screws are back in it, and I guess the thing to do now is make sure it still runs, right? Probably not a bad plan. I would say yes. I would say that it runs. But will it pump water? I don't know. We're going to find that out too. I do need to bend these tabs back down. I've actually neglected to do that until the very last second here because I didn't know how many bends they had in them. I didn't want to bend them back until I was sure I was finished. All right, one more test, just to be sure, double sure, triple sure. Yeah, actually, it spins down too. Wonder if it'll get quieter once it gets some water in there, kind of for lubrication. All right, well, I guess I could go ahead and clean that out while I'm in here, couldn't I? I'm hesitant to use any kind of cleaner in here because with the condition of this bag, I don't want to take a chance on screwing it up. Okay, I think it was like this. These little things. There. On the end of these, I'm just gonna kind of warm them up just a little bit. I'm not gonna take a whole lot. Should make them pop right back down over there and hopefully seal again. Same with this one, even though I cut it, I think I'll end up maybe trying to find a like a T to go in there or something. One more test. Just want to make sure. Wonder if there's any water left in the bag. Evidently not. Well, Okay, let's put it back on the truck. I don't know what the routing of those wires is supposed to be. I assume it's just like that. Okay, let's see if that works. It does. Now let's put some water in it and see if we can make a mess on the floor. Actually, maybe I should figure out some way of getting a union in those. I just happen to have some vacuum hose unions. I wonder if I can just kind of heat this up a little bit enough to make them go. Yep, looks like it. And the same with this one. Awesome, excellent stuff there. All right, I guess that's how that's supposed to be. Put some water in there, see what happens next. No, it's not real spring water, it's just a bottle. It's gonna be right in my way, isn't it? There we go, let's try that. Well, that should be enough to at least tell us if it's going to work or not, right? Not very much pressure. Either my squirter heads are stopped up or the pump is not producing pressure, it's bypassing. Not much way to find that out other than maybe unhook a hose and see what kind of pressure we have. Let's unhook this one here. Now it's squirty. Well, I've got, it's coming out, yeah. Okay. Guess the next thing we're going to do is get involved in those. Oops, broke it. Wonder if we can get this one off without breaking it. Hopefully. So I gave it a quick toot with brake cleaner, and the passages are open. So I guess probably what we should do is just hook it to the hose that's laying there. Just see if it sprays at all. That's probably the next thing to do. There, just kind of jam it in there. Let's see what we get for a squirty. Ooh, look. Ooh, that's a lot of squirty right there. That sucker's pretty serious. Look at that. Squirting my window. Look at that. Yikes. Filling up the toolbox. I better stop doing that. So we put it together. The one on the passenger side's a little bit weak, so I'll have to kind of mess around with that a little bit. But they work, the windshield wipers work. Now I don't have to worry about getting stuck somewhere in the fog. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, I'm sure there'll be other little things that we'll need to do to this truck as we go along. I said the project's finished, and I know the project is finished, but hey, you know, there are other little improvements we'll probably make along the line, just spruce it up a little bit. So I'm sure you'll see some more of it at some point. Appreciate you watching, guys. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends about us. See you next time.